Today we're going to go one step further from what we did 2 days ago. 2 days ago you were given an equation in a point slope form, and you were told to graph it where you would say, all right, here is my point and here is my slope. Graph the point and then use the slope to get the rest of the points. Today we're going to use it by finding the x and y intercepts. So our first step in this process is going to be to substitute in 0 for x and then solve for y, which will give you your y-intercept. So when I do this, I get y plus 3 equals 1/2. Now our x becomes 0 plus 2. And so then I can go ahead and say, well, 0 plus 2 is 2, which is going to give me y plus 3 equals 1/2 times 2. I'll come back up here so I have some more space to work. And when I take 1/2 times 2, I get y plus 3 equals 1. Then subtract 3 from both sides, which is going to give me y is equal to -2. So now if I want to put this in this format, this is going to be 0, -2. So then our second step is going to be now to substitute in 0 for y and solve for x, which will give us our x-intercept. So when I put in 0 for y, I get 0 plus 3 is equal to 1/2 times x plus 2. Now I'm going to combine and get 0 plus 3, which is 3. And then I need to bomb out that 1/2 because I can't add x and 2. 1/2 times x is 1/2 x plus 1/2 times 2, which is 1. Now this is a matter of solving equations. So I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides, which will give me 2 is equal to 1/2 x. Now I can go ahead and say, well, now I'm going to divide both sides by 1/2. But if you recall, dividing by a half is the same thing as multiplying by 2, because we multiply by the reciprocal. So we'll multiply both sides, which cancels out here, giving me x, and 2 times 2 is 4, which means my x-intercept is going to be 4, 0. So then our final third step is going to be to graph the points and draw that line. So I'm going to take my 0, -2, which we'll plot right here, and 4, 0. This was something a lot of you struggled on the Learning Target 16-17 quiz on. You're graphing them on the line. These are not your slopes. These are your points. So then we'll connect, making sure we draw past the lines and putting in the arrowheads. So let's go ahead and try another example here with this. Our second example is y minus 4 equals -5 times the quantity x plus 1. So my first step that I've got is I'm going to put in 0 for x and solve for y. So I have y minus 4 is equal to -5 times 0 plus 1. So then I can combine here 0 plus 1 as well, and so I get y minus 4 is equal to -5 times 1. And then I can multiply -5 times 1, which gives me y minus 4 is equal to -5. Then I can add 4 to both sides, which gives me y is equal to -1. So my y-intercept is going to be the ordered pair 0, -1. That second step is going to be to put in 0 for y and solve for x. So I've got 0 minus 4 equal to -5 times the quantity x plus 1. So 0 minus 4 is -4. And then we will distribute that -5, so we get -5x minus 5. So I'll go ahead and add 5 to both sides to give me +1 equals -5x. Divide by -5 on both sides, which gives me x is equal to -1/5. And so then my ordered pair is -1/5, 0. So now finally we want to graph these points. So we got 0, -1 for my y-intercept. And here's the interesting part. We have -1/5, 0, which is really hard to graph. So I'm going to change how I label my graph, and I'm going to go every 5 dots. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is going to be -1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is going to be +1. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 2. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is -2. Because then that way I can graph this a little more accurately. And I have -1/5, which is going to put me right here. And then I connect my dots. And I am done.